It's an ominous passage in the writings of Nostradamus. Fire will rain down from the sky, May 1999. Could he have foreseen Desert Blast? It's an outrageous outlaw fireworks display held somewhere in the Nevada desert with everything from guns to cannons, rockets, jets. They even have their own Air Force. This top secret event is by invitation only. And guess who got the invitation? George Knapp, Desert Blast, Monday on Eyewitness News at 5.
Weapons enthusiasts from around the world were in the Nevada desert over the weekend, and it was quite a sight, as you can see. George Knapp will have the story and all the pictures in the special Channel 8 I-Team report coming up. Well, if you happen to see some strange things in the desert sky over the weekend, we might know what it was.
A secretive, slightly off-kilter event known as Desert Blast was staged at a dry lake bed near Las Vegas. A few hundred heavily armed people got together to blow things up. George Knapp managed to land an invitation and is here with the story. George.
Gary and Paula, quite simply, there is no other event like this in the world. It happens on different dates in different places in the Nevada desert from all over the world. Fireworks experts, gun nuts, rocket scientists, and daredevil pilots gather in relative secrecy to have fun and show off. You have to know someone to get invited. Once you do, you'll never forget it. The arrival begins slowly, a trickle of trucks or RVs slipping into the desert for a one-day pyrotechnical orgy. The trickle becomes a torrent until a few hundred of the hardcore are gathered at the dry lake bed to pursue mutual interests.
Guns, explosives, anything that flies, burns, or explodes. You know, basic, stable kind of people.
Daylight hours are devoted mostly to guns of all varieties, 50 caliber machine guns ripping off rounds at a mountain a mile away. An assortment of cannons and howitzers blasting away at unseen enemies.
Fire in the hole!
What home should be without one of these? Or how about a mortar that fires bowling balls? All day long, thousands of rounds are fired at a strange zoo of cardboard cutouts. Overhead, vintage planes buzz the lake bed. Rockets are fired off in bunches. Some went up as high as 9,000 feet. Clearance had to be obtained from Nellis for those. Back on the ground, people zip around in bizarre contraptions. When did you last see someone in a motorized lawn chair carrying a submachine gun? Or the limousine of golf carts? The vehicles transport folks to spots on the lake just dying to be blown up.
Here we've got a half pound of black flash underneath a gallon of gas, and it makes for a nice little fireball. Now for the worst mileage in the world, 0 miles per gallon. Fire in the hole!
Desert Blast is now known all over the world, spread mostly by word of mouth. Fireworks companies scramble to get here, not to compete, but rather to show off their wares. This fireworks dealer flew from Australia.
Everybody sort of knows about it, and it's one of those events where everyone wants to go to, but you can't necessarily get there.
As the sun starts to set, preparations begin for the real show. Fireworks, fire bombs, and all things that go boom in the night. Obviously, it's an event that's not for everyone.
So you're on your best behavior here?
Absolutely not.
It all looks dangerous, but in 13 years, there have been no injuries to speak of at Desert Blast, and attendees make a point of cleaning up their mess. This year, the event was visited by rangers from the BLM and other law enforcement who were curious and cordial, but who also made sure no harm came to people or the environment. And tonight at 6, big explosion.
Bigger than that.
Big.
All right. We'll be here. Thanks,
Right.
George.
Thank you, George. If it sounded like Nevada was being invaded by a hostile army this weekend, then you may have caught a glimpse of an outrageous gathering known as Desert Blast. People who love fireworks and firearms say Desert Blast is the best event of its kind in the world.
In fact, it may be the only event of its kind. George Knapp was there.
Paula and Gary, you can't really say this event is organized. It just sort of happens like spontaneous combustion. You have to know someone to be invited. The date, time, and location are kept secret, and they change from year to year. It's a day-long blast-a-thon that truly starts cooking once the sun goes down. The next time you set off 50 flares at one time, see if they light up the night sky as much as these did. The flare barrage was actually one of the milder events at this year's Desert Blast, which began with an all-day volley of assorted weapons fire and evolved into a fireworks free-for-all as the sun set.
We're going to hit him with the torch. Bang, 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 bang.
This is a large shell, 12-inch shell that goes in there. And it, when it comes out, it just launches out of there with a section of lip powder, and it goes way up in the sky and blows.
Some of the fireworks are homemade, some are commercial products. Once the bombardment begins, it continues unabated for hours and hours and includes far more displays than any 4th of July show you've ever seen. There are other evening attractions, including a competition for Miss Desert Blast, where contestants display their love of machine guns. The most chic way to get around the lake at night is by jet-powered go-kart. And thank goodness someone remembered to bring a flamethrower. We don't know who this guy was, but he strapped piles of fireworks to his person and then lit himself on fire.
Look out!
All of this stuff, when used properly, probably a lot safer here than going to a ball game.
But a ball game usually doesn't feature a flaming wall of death. And no ballpark has ever seen 4,000 pounds of rocket fuel and a ton of magnesium ignited at once. Many of those who attend the event are ex-military or off-duty police officers, although none wanted their names used. No one has been hurt in 13 years, and the desert is always cleaned up. This year, rangers from the BLM kept an eye on things, and they seemed as amazed as the rest of us by what they witnessed. It's a lot of fun.
Even the guy that was wearing the fireworks wasn't hurt.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Okay, physically. I'm not sure about in the head.
No nuclear weapons.
No,
All other things.
not this year.
Phenomenal.
George, that was great.
Thanks.
Fun to watch.
Fun.